So who is Kayla?
Kayla is dope, and I speak from a humble place because I've overcome a lot of obstacles, and a lot of people may have or would have folded. The fact that I'm still here and I keep going, to me, that's why I say I'm dope.
So I know that you'll agree, enjoying myself while I work is the vibe that I'm trying to be on. So I want to invite you guys to Sidebar ATL here in Atlanta, Georgia. Sidebar, on top of the good food and live music, they have 3 different experiences. That means you can join me in the garden room, in the gold room if you want to try the top of the line hookah, and they also have the dungeon where I hear what happens in the dungeon stays in the dungeon. So it's the perfect mix. If you're here on business or you want to blow off some steam after work, you can meet me at Sidebar ATL so that you can have a little bit of dinner and then turn up afterwards if that's your jam. So check us out, 79 Poplar Street here in downtown Atlanta, or you can call 678-800-0741. Let's get it. Work and play at the same time, right? Welcome to another episode of the Work and Play Podcast. I'm your host, Ariel, and I have a really dope perspective. Not only do I have a special guest, it's a really dope perspective because the way that I got the idea of you coming onto the podcast was really special. But before we get into the episode, I would love for you to introduce yourself so that the folks know who's in the room.
Well, hello, my name is Kayla Evans. I am the owner of ATL Bodyworks here in the great city of Atlanta. Come get these hands.
Come get these hands. I like that. Now, here's the thing. The reason that I thought it would be really great for Kayla to come on, for you to come on, is so you reached out to me last year for a massage, right, for my birthday. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, dope. I have been thinking about you for months. And then something came up where I was going to reach out to you. And I was like, oh, this is her. So I reached out to you. Long story short, as I'm getting my massage, you said you have corporate shoulders. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you said that, my mind was like, corporate shoulders. One, to hear your perspective, right, of knowing exactly like where we hold our stress. I was like, I got to get that perspective, right? And then as you started telling your own story, I was like, oh, so you left corporate yourself to follow your dreams.
Yes.
So on this podcast, I think on this episode, we can talk about, one, what you've noticed in the body as it relates to people who are, working their regular job or just holding stress in different areas, how you learn that along the way. And then the other part is your journey. So who is Kayla?
Oh, wow. Kayla is dope. And I speak from a humble place because I've overcome a lot of obstacles. And a lot of people may have or would have folded. And the fact that I'm still here and I keep going, to me, that's why I say I'm dope. As far as the body, there are emotions. Muscles hold emotions depending when we're little, when we're excited, when we're upset, so you have all that over the years. You're on a corporate call or you're in a meeting, you could just smile and you're feeling all kind of things, and the hair on your neck might be standing up and you're holding it. So your muscles are saying, oh, we're supposed to be tight. We're tight. Or when you're on the phone, when you're driving, just the body mechanics of how you do things, your body starts forming, this is how we're supposed to perform or underperform.
Are you still trying to get a leg up on your entrepreneurial career? Now, I told you about the morning meetup, the community that was created for the betterment of entrepreneurship. And we are cooking up some really cool things. Now, here's the thing. If you join today, you can actually get in for 60% of the original price. So if you join today, all you have to do is download the app, and I provided the link below so that you can join us. We have community, we have a book club, and it's the largest group that meets every single day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. to literally get a head start on entrepreneurship. So if you're still trying to grow, you don't know what your business is going to be, but you know you want to be an entrepreneur, this is the community for you. So check out the morning meetup, click the link below, download the app, and join us today.
And lots of times you have the corporate CEOs that a lot of them are very cerebral. So you have a lot of tension in neck, shoulders, the occipital nerves. If you wear glasses, these nerves, these muscles right here are the muscles that control your eyes. So you want to really get in there and work that neck. And it's to me, I get excited talking about a body. You see, it's like, to me, it's a sacrifice. You have no idea what a person is going through. But the fact that you trust me that to me, for me as a therapist, I can't speak for, it's like dating. Let's get to know each other. I'm not going to beat you up because you didn't get these ailments or issues overnight, and it's like dating. Let's get, we're not gonna be calm down. Let's get to know each other so your body can say yes, no. And I'm about boundaries. It's about respect. There may be an area that you're like, oh yeah, you can, I understand this is what you want, but your body's telling me you're not welcome. I don't know who you are.
You're talking about the pain.
Yes, pain, or just like, you know, people, you can go harder. I know, yes, I know I can. I like permission though. We might work another area. Now, when I come back, I can now have my way with it, and it's going to surrender and let me do whatever I want to with that, because it's like, okay, you have permission. A lot of people don't look at it, you know, like that. So that's for me. That's how I love what I do.
I love the fact that you talk about it that way.
For me, I used to be an accounting manager for an investment group, and when you're around people and environments, you do things, and I thought I was above the law, and I did some things I'm not proud of, and I've paid for them for quite some time. And corporate, I learned a lot, but I got tired, first of all, counting somebody else's money, because you don't leave, especially month-end close, you don't leave till that money is right. And then some things that go on in the office, that was crazy, but I had a lot of unfortunate things happen to me while I was in corporate, so I decided to bow out gracefully. I could always go back maybe, but with the technology, I'm way behind. I'll probably be a lot slower. But I like being an entrepreneur. And the goal for me is now I want to wake up when I want to and go to sleep when I'm sleepy. So that's what I'm striving for.
That's a goal right there. Yeah. I want to wake when I want to and go to sleep when I'm sleepy. That's
that's the goal.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Listening to your body.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think I need to. You just gave me permission to share this. So when I was younger, I wanted to go into finance, but it wasn't necessarily. I talk about it because I was good with numbers, but there was this movie called Menace. Don't be a menace while drinking your juice in the hood, right? And Marlon was O-Dog, and he was like, I'm going to get me a nice job at a bank. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to rob these suckers blind. And the funny thing is, I grew up in College Park. Okay. Right?
Oh, so you from there? You from Atlanta? Okay.
Yes. I'm from Atlanta. I grew up in College Park. Everybody around me, they had their own lifestyle, but Ariel was that girl. No, you going to college. You're going to school. You're going to stay away from here. But my influences were still, you know, same music, same the guys I was hanging around with, the groups that they were a part of. Yeah. I was associated, but I was never a part of it. So my perspective, even though I knew I was going into corporate, I knew that was the life, it was still kind of like, I want to learn the system so that I can, you know, take what's mine. I used to read Fortune 500 or even books, and I would be like, offshore accounts, those type of things excited me. Even like petty cash, when you watch the movie, like the Babysitter movie, where like there's just borrow out of the petty cash. I don't know. I've always been curious about the system, and like, so just you talking about your story, and you can go deep as you like. I think about like the mastermind behind being able to like learn the company, right? Through like your own enjoyment, your true enjoyment. Gotcha. But then I also understand like sometimes we come to like bad decisions, and sometimes we make decisions when we have, like you said, that you had the authority, you had the opportunity to make certain decisions. So what was it about you that decided, I want to be an accountant and I want to go into accounting?
Well, this is the thing. I started at, this is the actual thing. I went to school for psychology.
Oh. Okay.
Liberal arts, social science, then I went into psychology. I don't have an accounting degree. I knew someone that was comfortable to trust me. I was trained to start off as small mom and pop. As the business grew, they allowed for me to go. I learned some things, and then I wound up getting a job at Embassy Suites in another city, and I was first the assistant manager, then got into all the way up to the controller. Did I have a degree? No. I just was good. I've always been good with numbers. I can see them in my sleep. That's my gift and my curse. I can see numbers, and I can remember numbers. So it was like, okay. And then sometimes when it's the ego. I I knew more. I thought I did. And that yeah.
You thought you would. You thought you would be able to kind of outsmart everyone.
Yes, I did for a while, quite some time. Yeah, definitely. But I had a cousin that got upset. She came to my apartment and didn't like how I was living, and made some phone calls, and people started looking into things. Because I had trouble here in Georgia. You know, I wasn't always picture perfect. Yeah, that's how my empire crumbled.
I got
my kinfolk got mad at me, hating. And lesson learned. God bless her. I wish you the best.
Right.
But, you know, lesson learned. But learning, like I said, you're right. Because I did have friends. That's why I moved out of state. Because, you know, when I worked here, I worked actually in this area that we're in. And did very well. Didn't have to. Just greedy. But because I could. So, you know, there were moments that I realized, you know, it wasn't right to do that. But I was in a space where it's like, you owe me. No one owes you anything, ever. You know, never. So, yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. What I'm picking up is our environments make us who we are,
Definitely.
right? At least our environment shaped the beginnings, but then your brilliant mind in the environment that you were in, you got the wherewithal to move out of that environment, and then you learned along the way how to build your character, how to build, and sometimes, you know, God puts us in situations where we're forced to develop our character, even when we don't necessarily go for it head on. So let's talk about a little bit about your makings. Like, I remember before we started taping, you were like, I was spoiled, right? Yes. So what was the young Kayla like? I'm imagining a brilliant mind.
Gosh. Oh, wow. Honestly, no. The young Kayla, and she still comes up every now and then. The young Kayla wanted to be accepted. The young Kayla wanted, how can I say, see me. My mother worked all the time. So we lived in a great environment. I went to the best schools. I went to Catholic school. My mother gave me the best. But as I explained to you, and we've had these conversations, when your parent works third shift, you can get into a whole lot of mischief. I come from a small town. It's Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. I came to Atlanta when I was 12, so I grew up in the A, but I'm originally from Pennsylvania. Small town, your neighbor cousins will watch you. So, you know, I was safe, but leaving me alone, I got into stuff. The people that I followed, my sister went off to college, to the military, We're 8 years apart.
Okay.
And so she's gone. So I'm trying to figure this out. And I have nothing but time on my hands. My grandfather's to watch me. He's old. What the heck? Pop, I'll be back. You know? So I started older people. I have always been fortunate that no matter what, I've always found an elder, I'll say, that's like, come here. What are you doing? And that has helped me, because a lot of things have happened that were crazy. But the young Kayla, she never knew her worth. You know, I had some things happen in the family, you know, molestation, unfortunately. And that did a lot to me. So then we moved to Atlanta. And first of all, I'm blown away. I remember one of my dear friends, she was much older than us. When we were in middle school, she should have been in secondary school, but she's brilliant. She's, I think Clay's either a lawyer or a doctor now, but she was much younger than us. And I remember inviting me to her parents, because I'd never seen so many black people. Just where I come from, that wasn't it. Most people were Jewish or white that were successful.
Got you.
And I'm looking around, and it's like, wait a minute, like, do all these people sell drugs? Because that's the only thing that's unfortunate. We went to her home, I'll never forget it. And I have a library in my house, and that's because of Dr. Rasheed Walker. It's because he had a library in his home, her father. I didn't understand it, because I remember asking this couple, this beautiful home in East Point, long brick little branches one, and I said, sir, what do you do? He said, well, Kayla, what do you think I do? We're in like 6th 6th grade, 6th, 7th grade. I said, do you sell drugs? He chuckled and said, no, swear. Why would you think that? I said, well, because everywhere I come from, they sell drugs. He said, no, dear, I'm a neurosurgeon. It's like, oh gosh, what is that? He will take me they will go take me to the library and I would just read. I would read these big old thick books, and they had strong names, Sharufa, Olabisi, Quayle, like these strong names, like, wow. And the unity, I had never seen a unit. My father wasn't in a home. It was a unit, and it was powerful. So that kind of, hanging around those type of people, and then when I wanted to go to like I told you, the West Side and date the dope boys off Hollywood Road and the Charles Disco, I remember, wanting to be what we call, I guess, grown and fast. It never worked out for me. But being two or three other girlfriends went over there. And
What?
I share everything. My children know these stories. The girls, we went over there to just be kind of grown because they were older. And they're in the kitchen doing their thing. They're hustling. And the guy can't count worth. He's slow. He's slow. So, I'm listening, but I guess I ain't supposed to be. And then finally I was like, that don't make no sense. Like, what? What you talking, they trying to rock like this. Why are you giving, I'm overstepping, unfortunately. So he's like, get them out of here.
Oh, so he wasn't, okay, got you. Okay.
He's like, get them out of here. Then he said, you, come here. Sit down. What you mean? So I start, look, this here, that's not, I became a business partner. I start counting money. He never came up short or whatever. So that was my introduction.
That was your introduction to counting money, to accounting, technically.
Yes.
Well, so that's funny.
Yes.
First of all, the fact that this is what I love about Atlanta. Growing up in Atlanta, it is the Black Mecca. But what people don't understand about what the Black Mecca really is, we got the highs, we got the lows, we got the, shadies. We have so many different types of Black people. Yes. So on one end, you're having conversations about neurology with someone who can, guide you and super duper smart. Yes. And then you, again, like I said, that brilliant mind in an environment where it's tapped. It's so tapped. And they know exactly. So what I also learned about, life is the book smarts is great. But then when the street smarts teach you how to move, right? Definitely. So him acknowledging that you have that skills, that he's like, hold on. Wait a minute, let me bring you in. Definitely. Let me train you.
Were, like I said, much older. They, they're like, they had to be like 20, 25. And it wasn't, nothing like that. I was trying to be grown with this one little friend, but it was just like, nope, and this didn't work out. You know what I mean? Even when you try to be grown, it just didn't work out for me.
So he put you to work?
Yes, definitely. And
how long did you do that?
Jeez.
Can you share? Are you trying to count them?
No, I'm trying to, I think we did a strong, good 10-year run.
Wow.
About a good 10-year run. And then from there I transitioned because, when you're in, I call it the underworld, you meet others. Mm-hmm. And, I met some people that taught me the check game. Mm-hmm. And I learned about, forgery, aggravated identity fraud. There really is a charge called aggravated.
Because you were trying to hurt someone by taking their identity?
Yes. And you unfortunately, destroy lives like that. Yes. In the 90s, it was a good year for you to do the right thing or you to do the wrong thing. That's the thing I tell people about Atlanta during that era. Mm-hmm. If you want to come here and because we're a stunner state, we're going to put on regardless. This is where you get it at. But I've lost a lot of people too. I've had two guys I dated. One was murdered in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to be kidnapped. I know what it's like to be held for ransom. It's rough because you make choices and you want to get into a lifestyle that you have no idea what you're opening yourself up to. Mm-hmm. So, it at the end of the day, was it worth it? No. If I had to go back and talk to that young Kayla, I'd say, sweetheart, go to school to be a neurosurgeon. That shiny stuff that's over there, it's a cost. It's a consequence and it's a cost. it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
That's
yeah.
I'm thinking about, so you putting the perspective of losing loved ones, right? And also being like kidnapped and seeing those things. I still want to know, the way that I envision it in my mind, not to take any of the gravity off of what you experienced, is 10 years. 10 years plus the additional years you learn about the checks. I'm thinking 10 years is a long time to do anything, but just like someone spending 10 years in corporate and accelerating through the ranks, I would assume did the same. So what was it like for you I'm curious, like what was it like for you to go from that kid who's just counting the money to maybe getting more and more responsibility, or what was that growth that you saw?
I won't even say it was growth. She got really, she came into a whole lot of money. She wasn't financially literate because I was a spoiled kid. Now,
were you telling your parents and stuff?
No, my mom worked all the time. She had no clue. And she started telling me no. So I have that posture. I'm cocky now. Lady, I got money that you don't even know about. I'm going to just leave. And I moved out at a young age. Somebody got me an apartment. I've lived in Buckhead at a younger age and shouldn't have. But, I did. And then in College Park, when it was predominantly all white, the creme de la creme, I had an apartment, and my motive was just, we're gonna get out here and we're gonna get it. Then I used to go to Miami and danced in Miami for a while. I never made it to the Rolex. I started off at the little Sugar Shack. I wasn't Rolex material. Then Strawberries burnt down, so I never made it. I never made it, but I wanted that fast life because it looked good to me. And now that it's because we're in beautiful times now when you see, young people, including yourself, like there's a better way, there's a different way. Unfortunately, we were conditioned to think it was cool to go to the penitentiary. It was cool to date a dope boy. It was cool for your old man to call you from jail. What? Are you kidding me? My daughter will never experience that. She's 21. She got a 760 credit score. She jumping in a Turo space. She can move down the lofts and ponds. I'm proud of that. And she don't have no kids. You know what I mean? Like, no, when my son had his children, he was an adult. I had them young, you know what I mean? So cycles in my life are already being broken. Little by little, they will not repeat. I've done enough time and foolishness for everybody. My son tried to get out. No, no, son, you're not even smart enough. You don't know what you're doing, and your friends, they're not for you. I'm that kind of mom. He's brought people around, and I'll be like, that's not it. Chicks too, that's not it. What do you mean? I said, I've done time with that personality. They don't know. Then he'll come back and be like, man, you was right. Or,
So there's a time period where you were growing up in the business of streets.
Yeah.
Right? Saw a lot. And you had your children during this time as well?
Yeah. Well, my daughter, I was 20. How was I, Didi? 23, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I was older. But, my son, I had him young.
So what was it in your life that made you go from what you were doing to going into accounting? Were you trying to change your life at this point, or was this
slowly but surely? Yes, I really was.
When did you get that idea?
After he arrived. Because it was looking for that validation. Now I have this little person, and this person is going to love me. Just like I said, not knowing your worth. I speak life into my daughter. Like, you have to speak life into your children. I understand that people want to work hard. That's wonderful. But there are moments that your kid needs to know you matter. Or then when you come home, speak life into them. You could be having a hell of a day, but the kid didn't ask to be here. And we're especially now, everybody's angry, everybody's mad, everybody's distracted, and I think we speak to each other so disrespectfully that no one takes the time to just be like, you good? How was your day? You can come in and just be like, girl, you be like, how you doing, Kayla? Girl, I never asked you how you doing. Like, can this be an equal exchange? Stop taking from me. You're sucking the life out of me. Then you want to be like, why am I not available for you? That happens with your kids too. So that's what happened with me. You know what I mean? I wanted to, and then of course I was in an abusive relationship. His father was wearing me out. You know what I mean? But I thought he loved me. I didn't have a meal. I didn't know that that's not acceptable. You know, so my kids know that. But for years I was in an abusive relationship. And I thought it was love, but we were young kids, just stupid. You know what I mean?
So how old was your son when you decided to, like, when you started to even think about, okay, maybe it's time for me to change my life? The best way to support the Work and Play podcast is by subscribing to the YouTube channel and by going to your favorite podcast player to subscribe and rate the Work and Play podcast. That's all you have to do. So if you are liking the Work and Play podcast, the content, the stories that we're sharing, and you know that this will help someone, go ahead and share the content to someone who could actually use it and help them on their journey to transition from corporate into entrepreneurship. Now let's get back into the episode.
Well, I want to tell you, between birth to 2.
Okay.
Because I went to the penitentiary when he was small. When I came back out, he's almost 6.
Okay.
So that's when he had to know who I was. Because when he used to come in the room and see me, and like, this might be the lady from that glass I used to go see, but she's home now. And then I think, like, I'll never forget that. I get emotional thinking about it. He was like, I think I was home like that 3rd week. And he just walked in the room and looked at me. He said, Mommy. I said, yeah, baby.
You know who I am.
You know. And he just gave me a hug. And I was just like, all right. I said, and I did. I remember saying, I'll never leave you again. Mm-hmm. Well, I meant well. And it wasn't that he didn't matter. Money mattered more. Because I felt if I have these things to buy him, that's where I came from. My mother bought me. I'm not to say she didn't love, but maybe that was the way she felt. That was the way of showing her love. Unfortunately, I've done that in relationships too. But people need to know you're present, not get the presents. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So that, I think, and then I slowly, I was working on it. I was fighting at war because it's easy to resort to what you know. The unknown is scary. You don't know. I know what's going to happen here. You know what I mean? I know that if it don't go well, I'm going to jail. Mm-hmm. Okay, I done did that before. And it's like, are you kidding me? Why? What's wrong with you? You know, and then I had met a couple who owned a tax, preparation. And as they started to transition into their corporate, they have a multi-million organization now. Come on, some training. And then I started learning, because that's when I learned about taxes too. You know what I mean? So I was like, having my little tool belts. But it was like, no, we're going to do it like this.
Do it the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay. And that was the thing, like I said, with numbers. I used to be just fascinated, like, with numbers. Like, okay, I could just see on my sleep, I could see numbers. And, things were good. I was moving along, progressing. Then every now and then somebody might have what we call a lick. Like, all right, you can make you a couple 50, 60 bands. Why not? Yeah, I could put that up.
And it was still the right way, based on like taxes?
Not with a taxing. A friend would call. Somebody call.
On the side. So, okay, so that was your side. Yeah. You know how people say side hustle?
Yeah, definitely.
This was true side hustle. Got you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I would always, I have a gift of network, make
relationships. Yeah.
I'm
picking that up. Yeah. It's funny because I really am picking that up. And I was wondering, I was going to ask you if you knew that was your gift, that like you were the middleman, that the way you tie relationships is unique.
Yes, but I ran from it for a while because I always felt like I wanted to be because see, when you want to be in control, first of all, they know that that's you. Stop wanting to be on the front scene on anything. You don't have to. Your character speaks for itself when you walk in a room, but it took time to, learn that. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I just remember sitting on a bunk in prison, and I looked around and I said, wow, it was deja vu. I had seen it before. There were warnings, but I didn't pay attention. So that's when it was like, okay, here we are. And then it's sad to say that sometimes you can get, sometimes I believe for me, God will get you somewhere by yourself where you can't hear nothing but him. You can't depend on nothing but him. And that's when the work, you know, was put in. The last situation that I had to deal with, I was looking at 45 years. And I walked away doing 5. A lot of things were seized and taken. I did not snitch. It's not in me. But, you know, I said, this is it. And I remember saying, if you just show me a better way, I'm done. And I haven't looked back. It's been beautiful.
Wow.
It's been a beautiful journey. Like I've shared, I have an amazing mentor. So it's more on mindset. A lot of my, besides being institutionalized, because those behaviors do come with you, definitely.
What are some of the behaviors that you notice?
I still have a few. I'll eat cold food. Like, I don't mean to, but if it's just cold,
Like you're not like
yelling, "Mama, you can't." I was like, and my daughter was like, one day, "Stop. This is no." And I'm like, I'm hungry, babe. She's like, "No."
Yes.
I mean, they really like, "No, Mama," but little, you know, little things, or just being alone. A lot of people went through COVID rough.
It was normal.
It really was. Because, you know, one of my locations, I was locked down 23 hours a day. Came out for 1 hour to shower and maybe socialize for 30 minutes. I know how to, this is okay.
Be by yourself.
It's up here. You know, that's the strongest thing, your mind. You know what I mean? And I just want to use it to good, and like I said, to just help people. And then how I got into massage.
I definitely want to get into massage. I was going to ask you, though, to kind of tie up this first part. 10 years, so really from young, from 6th grade, right, to what year would you say?
I came home at 2012.
2012, got it.
When I finally woke up.
When you finally woke up, because there were times when you said, "I'm gonna change my life." And how old was your son in 2012?
Paris was 10. My baby's 30 now. He's when I leave, he was he 15? I think he was 15. Was he? Yeah, 15, 16. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, because my daughter was in middle school, and I was on the run, and it was just a situation where I went to apply for my massage license, and I said I was from out of state. Had I said I was in Georgia, I had enough resources and people that I could have taken care of it here. But because I was being truthful,
you were trying, and that's the thing. You were trying to do it right all these times.
Yeah, because one of my girlfriends, rest her soul, she worked at the GBI's office.
What is that?
The Federal Georgia Bureau.
Okay.
So my name was always around. I was always ahead of stuff. So I knew what was going on with me. You know what I mean? And it was a day, because she happened to actually be with me at this location where I was trying to get it, and that's when I was like, "Today's the day." And she's like, "No, I just ran." No, it's not. And that's when I kind of act like I didn't know her, and I kind of kicked my keys, and I bent down. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am." I said, "Tell my son I'm sorry. Tell my kids I love them." I was like, "Get out of here." And that's when it was like,
wow.
Heavens.
Wow.
And the lobby got real thick with a lot of people, and I was like, here we go. This is it. And I've never ran from anything. I always had enough money to, you know, when you start no bond, what? You know, like that arrogance, no bond. You know who I am. You know what I mean? No, it doesn't work like that. But it was time. But I had previously from that, I have been working really hard. I have been in school. I was putting in the work. This was the last piece. You know, so no matter what, you gotta, my granddaddy taught me, do the crime, you gotta do the time. Now, a lot of times we won't do them numbers they throw at you. But I knew I had to go do it. So the last bit was different. I was different.
So
you know, I'm speaking life into the ladies while they're in there. You know, some be coming in there talking about, I left my stop. No, you didn't. You knew what you was doing. What we not gonna do is that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that was supposed to be 45 years. It ended up being 5 years. And though the way you spent it, even before that, you were preparing for this new life. It caught up to you.
Yes.
And then you had to do the 5 years. But while you were in 5 years, you were pouring into other people.
Yeah.
My question was actually going to be, you mentioned two things. You mentioned your character changed over time, and you mentioned the tool belt, right? You started with, the neurology, going into the library, reading books, right? And then it's like counting money for people on the street. And then it's like all these things, and your tool belt is getting full.
Yeah.
I'm curious, as you're growing, as your character is growing, right? As your tool belt is, you're getting more and more things that you know, and you can't unknow these things, right? So I understand what it's like sometimes to kind of just think a certain way, right? So when was the first time you put your hands on a body? Like when was the first time in all of that where you...
The kids when they were little. My niece, I have a niece that I pretty much kind of raised, her and my son. So I used to always like to, massage the children.
Really?
And, I used to always love to just give them a good bath time, you know what I'm saying? And they'll fall off to sleep.
Ooh.
And you just, and then I thought about, like I said, I had a horrible divorce. So I was like, well, what can you do? What can I do? That was 2007, between 2007 and 2009. Officially, I came back to Georgia in 2009. And I was like, what can I do? Something I need to do, because, he really was the financial piece.
Breadwinner. Did you give him massages a lot?
Yeah, I did. I did. I don't think about him a lot because that was, I was married to I thought a wonderful guy, my forever person, and he was down low. So it was...
Down low?
Gay.
Got you.
Sweet meat. Yes, gay.
Okay.
So I didn't see that coming. And, for us ladies, you can deal with another woman. You can deal with some drugs. I can't compete with that. So therefore, I went into a really dark place.
Yeah. You said you'd already been kind of struggling with your worth.
Yes.
So at this point,
You
what
got
are
worth, you got being abused in that home relationship. Now I found my superhero, and
he ends up being
gay. Yeah. So that was rough.
Yeah.
I had a nervous breakdown. Got through that though. You know what I mean? And I didn't want a chick. But I had to heal. I had to really, because I was humiliated. It was humiliating. It was, unlike anything, I don't mind sharing to people the first thing I was going to kill them. The first thing I went and got, it was getting ready to go. I had a moment of clarity, and the kids were on their way home, and I don't have children with him, thanks God, but he was a great stepfather, I will say that. He really, really was. And I remember putting the gun down. I walk out the house. I only remember waking up and my arms were strapped. I was in a facility.
You blacked out.
Yeah, I was on. They say I was on the highway walking. I think I don't remember none of that. My mom was there. She lived in Atlanta, so I knew, because when I woke up, I seen her. She's like, "Well, whatever it is, we're gonna get through this." He came in the room and I started screaming. She said, "Whatever this is, baby, you gotta go." I remember that.
Whew.
So, I guess for about a couple months, I enjoyed the high I was on from the drugs. I didn't have to feel. I didn't have to speak, because nobody knew what was going to happen. I didn't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. But it was just my son coming to see me, and mommy come back to me. It's like, okay, you've been selfish enough. So I had to really do the work.
Oof.
I didn't want to. I wanted to stay there and stay high. The dope was good. They gave me great drugs, because I used to, yes, I can stay here. I don't want to deal with this. Then it was like, he's worth me coming back to deal with it, and it's not my mom's responsibility to raise my children. You know what I mean? So that in itself was traumatizing. And then honestly, the first thing you think, I've had people, what did you think? What did you think? You think you have AIDS. By the grace of God, I don't.
Right, especially because you came up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Baby, that's the first thing you think. Ooh, wee.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to kill all y'all. You know what I mean? But I don't. Thank God, I've never had it. Never tested positive.
Yes.
But that's the trauma that you go through, and then it's like this after this, and it's like, you know, have there been days I wanted to give up? Oh yeah, you know, considered it, tried it, you know, but I'm still here, and there's things that I have to do, and it's just a matter of lots of times. If you change your mindset, you change your strategy, you truly do change your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And God had to really show me I'm real, because I got to a point where I was like, I was mad at God, I was mad at everybody, but these were all decisions that I made. You know.
You mentioned you had to do the work, right? Your son came into the room and said, you know, Mommy, come back to me, and you realized, like, okay, I have to do the work. And it's funny that every time I have a question, you say something that reminds me, like, it just kind of sits well, because I was going to ask, did you know, or did you have an inkling of what that work was? Because you said God showed you. I'm real.
No, I wanted to give up, but I kept getting up. So I had to start paying attention. Sometimes we focus on the have-nots, and it's like, okay, I keep getting up though. I don't want to. I've asked you to end it. I've asked you all these things, but I keep getting up. And I kept getting up. You know what I mean? I stayed in counseling, and I kept just like, okay, this is what we got to do. And then it just, I can't even put it in words. It's just, I have little people that depend on me. You gotta, hey man, it's not about you. You gotta make this work. You know, are you kidding me? You brought these people into this world. These are now getting ready to be grown-ups. How weird are we gonna make this? Like, do the work.
Yeah.
I love when Neo always says it has to work,
or it has to work.
And I've been honored to meet him. It's a pleasure, like, to see that he's serious about that too. It really does. It has to work, or it has to work.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, me and my son, the relationship is better, because I was an angry woman when he's seen a lot of my faces. You know, he's proud of me because, like I said, I'm always with my grandsons, but he knows the change, because I wasn't. But I want to always be the best version of me. I don't mind putting in work. If I can put in the work in the streets, why can't I put in the work to develop and be a better version of me?
Yeah.
As long as I am at my best, then I can give my clients my best.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, the 2.0 Kayla.
I love it.
The other one,
three.
she's a hot mess.
I was at 4.0, because I think the variations, you said he saw your faces, you know, honestly, and maybe it's because where I stand, I think it's a blessing to even know your faces, to see who you are in these different elements. And the next 10 years for your son to even be able to know the variations of Mom, I feel like that's such a blessing. And the fact that you haven't quit. You're still living out the narrative.
I can't. I just can't. I can't. You know what I mean? Because I've had people I was honored. I had one of my girlfriends. We used to hustle together. Heavy. She was released recently, and she's been wide. I didn't know she was watching me. That's one thing my mentor, the amazing Brian Bean.
Shout out to Brian Bean.
Watch. They're watching. People are watching. They might not say nothing, but they're watching. And I used to worry about image because I had a past. You know what I mean? But it was like one person to the puzzle that has gone on to glory that I don't worry about. I'll speak now because it was because of them. I just, you know, respectfully kept quiet, but now it's like I don't have to be quiet. I can
speak your truth.
Yes,
you can be who you are.
Definitely.
And honestly and truly, all of the first part of Kayla 1.0 is trauma, it's tension, it's just, and all the things that people go to a massage therapist to let go.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I tell you, all of this part of the story makes so much sense because you went through your healing. You keep saying you did the work. Mm-hmm. You went through your healing. You went through your process. And as massage, comes to be a part of your tool belt, I'm assuming, and you have to walk us through this growth period, but I'm assuming it started off as a tangible skill. You started doing it with your kids.
Yes, I like I said, the skill, the kids. Then I divorced. Okay, what am I going to do? I traveled a little bit, and it's like, okay, I need something to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm in trouble with the finance world. I can't. What am I going to do? I need a skill. So okay, what can I do? I tried hair. Now, I'm a lefty. At that time, things weren't made for left-handed people. So I got like maybe 200 hours of cosmetology, but it wasn't, and I didn't have supportive people. I was still in that stage to where it was, I was told, you need to have a license to shampoo my hair. And I was like, well, how am I gonna grow? But I had those kind of people that they didn't believe in me. It is what it is. There's no way to put no cut on it. Mm-hmm. So I chose massage. I chose the Atlanta School of Massage. I didn't know what I walked into. The school at that time, the motto was mind, body, and spirit. No clue. Wasn't thinking of looking into that. My first day of class, I'm in there like, these people are weird. Like, I'm in my stuff, my bag. As I kept going, I met some of the most amazing people that I love to this day. And I grew, like the body work did so much to me that it was like, I started, like, you could see a glow, a cloud, like I just, then I got into CE, your CEUs and stuff like that. I did Jamu.
That's the credit hours, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's called Jamu. It's kind of Balinese type of massage. And then I wanted to learn this called Thai yoga. Now there's different variations, but I am trained under Achan James. I'm level 2, CPT level 2. My goal is to be a teacher, but I got distracted with life. And when I tell you, it's an indigenous body work. Anything that I do for another, culture or country, I'm blessed. Because when natives come and see you and say, yes, this reminds me of my homeland, you're doing a really good job. And it's different from massage, though. I do incorporate some of the techniques, but under the scope of what I'm taught from the Native American church, I am a therapeutic minister of the laying of the hands. That's totally different than massage. I can talk to you about diet. I can talk to you about nutrition. Those are things that from a Western world, a massage therapist can't do. So you have to separate them. It got to a point where it was too much for me to separate, because you have to put on hats. There's a famous doctor, I can't think of his name right now, but he's, I think, at Johns Hopkins. He has 2 offices. Okay. When he's in the office in that realm, he puts on his, and he has a whole staff. It's crazy. It's dope though, but I wasn't, I guess, strategic enough to turn that off, because that's like me and you having a conversation and say a chiropractor or a nurse hears me talk about, I can heal you. They gonna call the board on me, because that ain't what massage therapists do. So, that's something totally different. But that body work. So when I pull up, because it's in Florida, you in the woods, you in seclusion. I'm like, okay, and none of these people look like me. I'm like, if this not you, Lord, if this is not it, if this a call and they gonna try to kill me and eat me. You know what I mean? Look, what is this? And you go in seclusion for 30 days. And we just did body work. At that time I went. I was on medication because, back, all kind of ailments, because you go hard, your body start breaking down. I was like, let me see if this is about. Because I just thought I was going to take a seat. I got a scholarship to take this course, and I'm thinking, honey, when I tell you, I went in May of, I believe, May of 2014. No, I went in October. I didn't have any type of pain in my body until May the following year. That's when I said, oh my, okay, this is good. But it's heavy. We learn about we learn about programming, conditioning, things that we're taught that some are not true. Some are not true. Eating right, diet, what these chemicals, what things are doing to your body. And I was in a space where I couldn't do nothing but listen. There were times I actually got up and left.
Okay, you're like, I cannot.
I said, I can't take this.
Yeah.
And I would go back. I got to go back. And it was just like, you came this far. And I was like, you know, and then for real, we would have conversations that I'm like, you know what I mean? John, I'm black. I can't tell my people that. He said, that's why you here, to go back and educate them. They need to know this information. And it was like,
what are some of the things?
Oh my gosh, where do we begin? Like just the thing, food is medicine. Medicine is food. You eat pretty healthy stuff. That this is 2015. A lot of stuff is, you know, different now. What did I learn? I didn't know that, like, some things like Black history wasn't just taught in my. I didn't know in the Vatican a lot of the sculptures are of Black women.
Okay.
But the sculptures of Africa, there's a Black woman. I didn't know these things.
I didn't know that.
You know, I didn't know that up in, well, I don't say Jersey, up the Native Americans, how they merged together is because they were helping slaves. I didn't know that because they would go to the reservations. Things like that, I didn't know that. Also, I just didn't know about, like, triphala, certain pre and probiotics. I didn't know that the inside of I don't even eat them with it. What's the little cake with the cream inside?
Oh, the Twinkie? What's the truth about a Twinkie?
Hey, you gonna make these people come for me? Depending on the right lighting, if you turn the lights off, it glows in the dark. And you got to realize that goes inside your system. That's crazy. There are actually cures out here for AIDS. There's actually cures out here for cancer. People, they keep feeding us medicine. We leave it at that.
Okay, I understand.
Because it gets so to the point where you like, wait a minute, what? And I'm down there with people, not your everyday people, like one of the head persons for MAC Cosmetics, you know, out of Toronto Vision. I mean, you know, you celebrity, like it was all people walks of life. And it's like, if they're learning, they just want to learn. And, you know, some were just down there to be free in the wilderness. When we did the sweat lodge, that was crazy. I'm in a sweat lodge. We built it and it was 1,500 degrees in there. And I never knew that when you put your face to the ground, it's cold. I mean, I know that's simply said, but it makes sense when you take your shoes off how you're grounding yourself. But when you in a room like that, it was healing. It was healing. A lot of the biases that I was taught, like,
you let them go. So as you are healing as an individual, I'm really curious about the process of letting go. Like when you're becoming a new person, right? And if, you know, like you said, your son knows this Kayla and he knows the Kayla before that. What does it feel like to let go? Or what's one of the main things that you personally had to let go in order to be the version of you that you are today?
I had to think different. I had to get around some people that dream so freaking big to a small-minded person is bragging. But they're only strategizing. That brings it to, like I said, that brings it back to morning meetup. You know, like I said, I met Dave through Brian at one of Brian's events. Dave came and spoke to us, and we did a disc assessment, and he was just super cool. I would see him all the time, you know, and then when I came over to the morning meetup, the love every morning is what I tell you, sometimes anywhere from 300 to 700, depends on the number. You got like-minded entrepreneurs speaking life into you the first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Really, really. And I think that aligned with me just seeking. You know, reading self-help development books. And just, I've always wanted a better way. Even when I was hustling, I always wanted the best. I just wouldn't settle. And now conversations are just different. They're really different, especially when you're blessed to be around people 7-8 figure. Like, conversations are different. Stresses are different. I remember being privileged to ask Mr. Derek Harper and Brian B. Like, it was a situation with each gentleman. It was like, do you not stress because you got some money? Like, because you're rich? And they chuckle, like, that helps. Because we can get panicky. But to successful people, grounded, balanced, successful people, it's not that serious. Like, now we're just going. We're distracted. Nobody's breathing. What really brought me to this moment, I took a breath and body work course. I can't even put it in words. The next one I want to go to is in Bali. But I learned how to breathe. Everybody, we do not breathe on a day-to-day basis. We truly do not breathe. I had, once again, I'm the only woman of color, because you know me, I'm going for what I need. It doesn't matter who's in the room. They got their hands around me and they breathe. And when I finally, I cried, I think 30 minutes nonstop, and it was amazing. It was like layers. You know what I mean? But we're so conditioned to just go. Even in relationships, like, stop, breathe. Like my grandchildren, I do Thai body work on them. You know, my one grandson, I take them upside down and be just every bone in their body. My youngest grandson, he's not afraid of anything. And my goal is for him to always be like that. Be mindful, be smart. But as we get older, like I said, it just, you know, I've learned that it's our disappointments that we challenge on the kids. You don't want to do that. You don't need, no, do it. Well, they put some towels down. They put some blankets down. He did. I want to jump off the bed. I said, you sure you want to do that? Yes. I put the pillows down. He jumped. He said, I don't think I want to do that again. Okay. My daughter went off to school. Go. You don't like it, you can come back, but go. I never want to live a life of regrets. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. If it don't work out, it just didn't work out. But now you hear Neil say it gotta work, so you can't come back. You know what I mean? But you never know, and I think that a lot of people are just talk. Because let me tell you, when you face with some of them obstacles where you have nothing but to surrender, life gets different. You know, and then I've seen some of the toughest dudes, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Feds come talking to you, they turn into little bitty feeble kids. But, you know, you don't know what you would do about a lot of things because you have no frame of reference. What you would do, you're just in that moment, and it's like, okay, we're here. So I now I'm in a space where I just, life, I want to keep it simple. Life can be great no matter the circumstances, but you just have to have the proper, I think, you know, posture and structure just to be like, it's cool, whatever this is, it's gonna pass. Can't tell you when, but if you just keep focusing on it's over there, not right here, you know, you just have that tunnel vision. You know what I mean?
Keep moving forward.
Definitely, you have.
Can I say that and I'm gonna tell you where it's coming from. When I quit corporate, at the time I was 26. And at that point, I'd been living the wreck. I told you about my experiences, what I was exposed to, but I'd been living a pretty regular life. And the first year that I quit, I got through so many, you said, life distractions, right? And honestly and truly, I think that those 2 years, I'm proud of those 2 years, because even though they were made of, I didn't need to spend 10 years to do something right. Because it's like I still get a chance to learn from others. But the 2 years that I experienced life, I was like, oh, this is what all the motivation is made out of, right? Because like you said, a lot of people are just talk. Because if you haven't experienced not just like, you know, failing a test, but if you haven't experienced life in a way that there's nothing to catch you on either side. Mama can't help you. You literally have to pull yourself out of the situation. So I'm coming from that place, but when I say that, I feel like all of that is a blessing. No, it is. It's now that everything you go through is for somebody else. You can't. I mean, like, now I'm actually ready to go back into the jails and prisons and talk to them. I wasn't for a minute. I can do a county
presentation and talk to you. But prison's a little different. The way the doors close is still, it would freak me. And I'm like, no, I can't get out. No, let me play. Can we leave? They'd be like, what this lady coming here? Hey,
right,
I got to go. I got to go right now.
Listen, do more harm than good. Because they be sitting here like, oh yeah, I am trapped in here.
Yeah.
No, so
I thought like a long, because you need to, I was like, but I did. I will honestly, I'm going to say maybe about a month ago.
You started to open up to that.
I felt in my spirit say it's time. I'm like, but like I think I lost my thought. I have one of my good girlfriends that she asked me to mentor her, and I'm like, what? And she did. She said, I've been watching you, and I know it's for real, because I know you're this is for real. And you keep growing, and and I'm like, if you're not coming all the way in, don't come, because that. Because like I said, the first couple years I got home, you still get phone calls to be like, hey, I got hit. No. No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So that brings us to the moment where I'm laying on your bed, your massage bed, and you're rubbing my shoulders, and you immediately, I think you've been touching me about maybe 60 seconds, and you were like, yeah, you got corporate shoulders. Now, fast forward, not even fast forward, we're here. What do you bring with you when you're massaging? Like, how much experience from the first body you ever truly massaged to now, what is the experience that you bring when you're massaging folks?
Well, I love what I do, first of all. Before I give them a little secret now. First of all, I wash my hands. But before I touch anyone, I anoint my hands with holy oil. And I ask, whatever there is the need, will you allow me to be the vessel? So I don't know a lot of stuff per se. I just know intuitively the body talks to me. It's like we're having a real conversation. And I'm saying, hi, I'm Kayla. I'm here. I'm here to service, Ariel. Do I have permission? As I'm walking around you, I'm saying, do I have permission? Am I welcome? And every now they kind of like, hey, who are you? What you want? Why are you here? Then it's like, okay, yeah. Then you gotta, and I watch the body. Okay, yeah. Then that third one is like, showtime. You know what I mean? So I love it. I love the results. I mean, I'm almost honestly, since my career, I'm almost at 18,000 services. Wow. And yeah, I'm getting tired. I'm working now with some people. I'm looking to work with the amazing Bryn and, Miss Callie, and figure out a better strategy to do more, because I'm only one person. To build my brand, build my business. I want to teach. I want to teach real massage, not some of this soft porn that's on IG. That's not what we do.
That's exactly what it is. I'm like, this is not a massage.
Yeah, that. And then, some of the ladies, I guess maybe they just want a hot guy. But when you look at some of the body work, it's like, sweetie, he's going to injure you. Yeah. If you don't pay it, like, okay, because I'm looking at some guy, I'm like, you got your arm in her spine. What are you doing? Like, but, that.
You know what I think that is, though? I think that is for a lot of women who are similar to me prior to life distractions. You, one, don't have a man. Two, you don't have that physical touch from other people. And three, the men who are smart enough to find that jug, I do feel like it's kind of a jug. But
I do. I just think it's just y'all just pay them to do what you need to do. Why are you oiled down and looking, girls? I just feel like you pay for this. I just feel like it should just been a mutual exchange. Why are you paying for this, and why are you so greasy? Why are you so greasy?
I think that is why the market exists. Why are you so greasy? You know exactly why they're greasy.
I'm like, what is, but that's the thing. Like I said, I myself need to do a little live more. I've had to sign so many NDAs for so long that it's like, now I got to come out and say, hi, I'm Kayla. That's why I kind of get better with it. I'm Kayla. Because usually, I've been fortunate to have very, very private clientele that you don't even know. You didn't even know me. You didn't touch me. Some I can disclose, but the other ones, no. So I haven't had it. And then when you come out social media, you talking about I gotta prove myself to you. What?
Right. I gotta.
But I get it. I'm understanding it now more and more, and things of that. And like I like the concept of Mr. Damian Burris. My pulpit is different.
Yes.
Mine is too. You know what I mean? So it's all about mindset. It doesn't have to be the way you thought or how it should go, just the way God has it intended for you in your life. So
100%.
Yeah, definitely, because that
what's out here, what's available, we need you.
Yeah,
that's the short and long of it. So okay, so let me ask you this before we get up out of here. I do need to ask the things, like I know you said you don't know a lot, but you do, right?
I mean, I do. I mean, I'm getting ready to be a clinic supervisor at one of the massage schools, so I do know what it's like.
Got you. So when it comes to educating the people, where do and then think about the different lifestyles that exist, because when you said corporate shoulders, it just told me different walks of life.
You were either in heels, so like posture, either you're in heels or you're over at a computer, or you're dealing with clients and you're smiling a lot because you could be pissed off. You could have a serious, boss is getting on you, but you.
So we hold that in our body.
Yes, definitely. And then, like the typing and driving. These attachments here, when you really get in here, these can be uncomfortable. But once you get down in there, oh my gosh, because we're holding your steering wheel, this and that. Or you just worry about how people, if they move around a lot, hips can be tight. I was taught that when there is a lot of tension on the neck, shoulders, your cerebral area, that's the weight of the world. Your thoracic area, that means heart. Lumbar, support. You don't really have a lot of support.
Okay, so
in your
cerebral
personal life,
weight of the world, heart meaning love issues or familial issues,
all the above,
and then hips or support.
Lumbar.
Lumbar.
Lumbar here.
Okay, that's where our lumbar.
All that's connected. Even the attachments to work the hips. So that's support. Yeah.
And that's like familiar support, career support, any type. You just feel like the person is kind of doing it alone.
Could be, or they could just be posture. See what I'm saying? It could be something and then nothing.
Do you talk and ask, like, I'm envisioning something super caricature like, but being able to read into someone's life and say, like, I was thinking about Miss Cleo.
I have had sometimes. There was two things. The wildest thing is I was called a witch one time. Young lady came in. I was then at the Serenbe community. If you've never been there, you guys should go. It's an amazing place. And this is before they built the new facility. It was just 2 rooms, and she just was having a rough time. You could just see it. Like when she came, there's a lot on her, and I worked on her, and she just had what we call emotional release. That's when you can hit a certain part and they just ball out of control. And and she just explaining it was heavy, a lot. She was dealing with a lot. And when she got up, she said she was fine. She was cool. I stayed with her because she was like she's having a panic attack, but she didn't. She came out, and when she came out of the bathroom, she nut up. She went into me. You witch! You touched me. I wasn't feeling this. I came in here for a massage. Now I'm an emotional wreck. And I mean, she went off, and I was like, I've been called a lot of things, but a witch. I ain't no witch, you know what I mean? But I understood she and then like I said, the man was like, they was like, let it alone. She has a lot going on. She just unleashed, on you. I had a gentleman when I was working at Chateau Elan. He never had a massage. He was in his 70s. Started dating a little young thing, so she wanted to have a massage. Then I asked him why hadn't he ever, he didn't disclose then. As I continued to work on him, he said, wow, this really feels nice. Wow. That gentleman, I took him back, I guess, to a memory where he had been molested when he was 6 years old. He had never told nobody at that moment. And it's like there's something called unwinding. That's when your body, I compare it to having like the Holy Ghost. Your body can just do this and you have no control of it. And if you're not prepared, first time it happened with me, it freaked me out. But then you just hold and you just ask the client, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, but I know this is just your body's what we call unwinding. It's just that fascia is unwinding, and it can be creepy if you're not grounded in what you know, and being able to take the client all the way and they're okay. Because I have some clients that we've done some great work with. And then there was another gentleman that he was beat as a child, so he didn't want to be touched. After I serviced him, he had to go, said, I gotta go call my ex-wife. I owe her an apology. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. Then another gentleman, he was gonna kill her. I didn't know he was just coming back to back to get. He was doing like 90-minute sessions. That third session, he said, I want to tell you thank you. And he said, I was walking. He said, I came in walking. I want to just get a service. He said, but my wife of 20 years is cheating on me. He said, I was gonna blow her head off. Because I work, I do everything to take care of her. He said, but our interactions, conversation, he said, and it just, my body's feeling a lot. It's like I don't have that. I'm not angry anymore. He said, thank you. Maybe a couple months later, he comes in the door again. Hey, how you doing? He said, good to see you. I want you to meet somebody. It was her. Girl, when I tell you the way she shook my hand, like, thank you. Thank you. And I said, how you doing? She said, he told me, thank you. Wow. She said, and we're doing okay. We're in counseling. I'm like, yeah. I mean, like some of the stories, because I want you to feel it's a safe place. I want you to know that it goes nowhere. You know what I mean? Because you just don't know what people are dealing with. I don't know if that person is one moment from going outside, taking people out, or themselves. So when I have them there, it's about them, and whatever, God has me to do, we get it done.
Yeah.
So, and I love it. I love it. Like, that's the problem though. Sometimes I love it too much. So now I just want to teach, because I want the young kids to understand. I mean, I get it if this is just a job for you, but we're dealing with people.
Yeah. It
needs to be more than that, because I don't know. I think since the shutdown, there's just been this reset of everybody entitled, and it's not that you shouldn't be entitled to be. You should be entitled to be great, but that's a human being. Like, take time to just relax. I think the whole world needs a massage.
Oh man, I think the whole world does myself. So as you think about the future and like all of the things that you've been through and seen, like I see so many different connections from the life you used to live and the life you live now. For somebody to lay on your chair, if they went to Massage Envy, and not to say Massage Envy only has one type of masseuse, but let's say they went in for
a massage therapist. I'm gonna stop you there. Depending on who you speak to, we're taught a masseuse gives a happy ending. So I just say that I'm cool with it. I know, because that was what the verbiage was. And only in Georgia, I can say, because I don't know about other states, 2005 is when the medical community took massage seriously. Prior to 2005 in Georgia, they had to be with the strippers getting a license. So some may look at you like, so I just wouldn't want you to offend and not know it, because people ain't going to tell you.
And I'm glad you said that. When you sat down and we first started the podcast and you said massage therapist, as you're telling your story, I'm like, you're the perfect person to give someone therapy, right? And as you're talking about the results, I'm like, this is therapy. I swear, three points in time when I actually was like, massage therapist actually literally came up in my brain like, oh, this is therapy.
Yeah,
like,
when they serious, but yeah, definitely.
And because you've gone through, absolutely.
I appreciate that.
There's a thing about like helping others. Some of it is textbook, and then some of it is life experience. And when I go to a therapist, I need to know that you got me, not only because you learned about it, because you can see it from a mile away, because you've been through it, because you know it when you can see it on me. And I think that as you were talking about your experience, it started to give clarity to massage therapists, and then got all the way to the results. I'm glad you stopped me, because that's definitely
that's the thing, you know what I mean, like some of the elders, you know, but that's because I've been around some other therapists, and I was like, I said, well, did you explain to them why that may offended you? No, so they're going to continue to say that when you had there was a moment for you to say, if you don't, it's a way, I mean, it's just a way to say,
educate people on the new term. It's the same for social workers.
That's the thing.
Yeah, because therapists for the psychology community didn't accept social workers for a while.
Exactly.
And so now we as healers, we come together, and I do like the fact that the community is starting to respect different modalities in healing, because anybody can walk through their journey, but you're not going to trust everyone. You won't trust every therapist. You won't trust every massage therapist.
True.
You won't trust every social worker. So whoever you can find your healing from. So I was thinking, you mentioned young people. And
the youngest I've serviced is 7.
7. I was thinking about the young people that you want to hire as you build out
just services. I've thought about that. Like the youngest person I've ever
who sat on your table
besides my grandbabies.
Yeah.
Paid client was 7.
Really?
Yes.
On a regular basis?
Well, she came to me 3 times. Her mom would come and get service, but it was the first time they brought her back there, I was like, "Is this what y'all doing?" Like, so then I'm like. Like, squat down, baby. Have you ever had a massage for? No, ma'am. Okay.
Why
so then I just went into
help?
mommy mode, because she was getting, spending the day at the spa.
Okay, so it was
like I don't know if I was the babysitter or whatever. It was cool, but I just explained to her in that moment, Sweet Pea, no one is supposed to touch you above here or below here.
You went into mommy mode for real.
So I played with her feet, rubbed her little arms, played with her hair. She fell asleep. I let her kind of rest. That was it. I came out and I said, I do hope I haven't overstepped. This is what I told your daughter. She's like, oh my God, I didn't
think about that.
Yes. You know what I mean? Those are moments, but that was a teaching moment for me too, because my baby girl, I think he was like 12 at the time. I went home and I said, Dee, if I sent you to get a massage, would you get nude? She said, yes, Mom, I would. I said, why? She said, because that was my mom said, no. I know, because she's draped. I don't see her, but by law, we can never see anybody. So whatever you're underneath, that's your business, as long as you're draped properly. Anything exposed, you might want to look into that. But that let me know to my baby, no. And it's crazy, because I was sharing it with other women that happened. And they was like, well, wait a minute. We used to get them when we would go to the country club. I think I might have been inappropriately touched because I didn't. Yeah. So those were moments for me to be like, baby girl, no. So people, if you send your children to the spa or a therapist, if you're not in the room, particularly the age, make sure they have on some garments. If not, nobody should go above here or below here. No, that's how. And if you feel violated in the session, you're a lot of people don't, because they're nude. They feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
This is your money. You're paying for a service in that session. And yes, report that therapist, because I've been hearing some things. Report it. It's not, a massage can be sensual because you're waking up senses. Some things happen. It's natural, but you keep it professional. You don't make the client feel their body parts. We're adults, but nothing ever is sexual. It's not that type of party. So
I'm glad you did. That's important.
Never that type of party. That's not happening.
There are a lot of people who go through massages and they feel violated, but because they're going through an experience like, oh, it's a massage, they feel like they don't have the right to speak up.
Don't even know. I've been thinking about doing like little clips, like this is what happens when you come in. This is what you should do. Just little things, because some people, I had a lady one time, she kept everything on. Okay, cool. We're going to do compressions. Then finally I was like, well, would you like to? She was like, well, I didn't know what to do. And I was like, okay, that was a moment for me back then to be like, I didn't ever tell her.
Education.
It's powerful. So now it's like, when people are paying their money, especially the numbers that, I'm charging, it's an experience. Because you can go to a local chain and get a membership and it's okay, but it needs to be an experience. And if you're not happy with your experience, then hey, I can honestly say in my career that I know of, that someone has actually told or said, I can honestly say I think I've had about maybe 5 complaints. Seriously. Now, I think that's pretty good compared to almost 18,000.
Mm-hmm.
But everything's not there for everyone. And I'm okay with that. If you don't, I have no problem refunding you your bread. Like, it's not that serious. I will find someone. It's about you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that, no. You know what I mean? No.
So how are we going to package up Kayla into like 12 other Kaylas? What are some of the criteria you're looking for other people to have in their tool belt when they come to you?
Be coachable. That's a good question. That's why I haven't hired nobody yet. Because that's my baby. I'm scared to let go. Someone that actually likes people. Someone that's not angry. That someone that even if they have some issues, we can work through them. But someone that is serious about being excellent. Last week I actually got in trouble because I was at a moment. We were down in Mr. Bean. I snapped on the waitress. I didn't mean to be snappy, but I'm really particular to someone. It probably was like, she's crazy, but I'm really particular because I'm serious about customer service. Like, I'm really serious about that. And he was like, not Kayla, not my leaders. It's okay. Have empathy. It's just, I didn't do it. She didn't do it the way I would have. She's not me. So I have to stay in that mode. It's not that serious. So I need people it's not that serious, that we can have a good time, but we're serious about the work, and to definitely show up on time, please. Some therapists like to show up when the service starts. That's not how you be great. You need to be at work at least an hour before to just ground yourself. Whatever's going on at home, you leave it at the door. Mm-hmm. And it's about the client. You know what I mean? And that's really that, some people just, I don't know. I think that people that just want to be the best version of themselves and willing to put in the work, because what I want for ATO Bodyworks is monogamous. I want to be international. I want to compete with your major chains. I want to be an impact. You know what I mean? I want like a full med spa, and eventually maybe add on some, counseling. I even thought about, like I said, it's crazy how we're just in this moment. Maybe that's more confirmation. I want to go grab the ladies incarcerated, but I don't know yet if I've matured enough to have the patience with them though. So I have to work on that, because I have no problem. Like, I can cut you off and I don't even know you no more. And that's something I need to work on, because it's just a matter of I'm serious. But I don't want to be so serious that I offend or I hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of y'all a little too sensitive, but I still need to let you be that. Mm-hmm. Meet people where they are and really mean it. Mm-hmm. I think I'm talking that a little bit more. I don't really mean it yet.
Got it.
Because there's some things I just be like, ugh. So I'm still in that. Those are areas I need to work on. Mm-hmm. So if that answered your question.
It does. It does. And if I take it a step back, if I take it a step further, once you go through, because you're going through, we all are healing in different times of our lives, but once you go through this process and you're even further, the distance between you spending time in prison is further and further, that I can envision you being able to help so many people who are cast out of the system, who have skill sets, they have life experiences, and they can learn a trade. You can literally breathe life into them and have a whole team of women who can help us heal.
You're right.
Don't speak into the concern right now.
Thank you.
We just speak it into the future.
Okay.
The reality is, it's not. Because
I want an academy. I want to train them. I got to bring them through and train them.
Exactly. So the moment where they have the training they need, they have the experience, by the time that they get to wherever, like you or the table or a client, they will be prepared. So we'll speak into it.
Gotcha.
That if you can, yes, I 100% can 100% see it. And I'm a program mind, so I can see all these little different nuggets. So I look forward to seeing it grow. I look forward to seeing you grow from 1 to 2 to 5 to 20.
Yes.
And before we get out of here, I would love for you to share. We covered so much. Was there anything that was there anything else that you wanted to share to the folks as they're on their transition?
Invest in yourself. The best investment is in yourself. Whatever you're going through, go through it, because there's so much joy possibly on the other side. Get yourself around some like-minded individuals that have a common goal to do good in the world. You know, that's pretty much it. And just like I said, just know you dope. Unapologetically, don't apologize. Be dope. That's it, I guess.
That's it. Listen, this is in the flesh a great example to live by, and you grounded me in so many things that just in life as a person we grow. Because as we talk about the Work and Play podcast and career journeys and things like that, there's a tangible skill set, as you mentioned, the tool belt, but then there's a life experience or life distraction that really give way to who we are uniquely. Like, we're uniquely qualified to be whatever it is that we are. So I thank you 100%, Kayla, for being on this episode. And if there's someone out there who wants to work with you, either on the table or they also want to be mentored, how can folks reach out to you? How can they connect with you?
IG or all social sites, ATO Bodyworks, or you can ATOBodyworksCO.com, or hey, old school 770-765-1076. I'm in Midtown Atlanta. Come get these hands.
Come get these hands, y'all. And until next time, we will see you guys later. Go ahead, be great. Peace.